So just to follow up on the first video that I did showing the actual examples of the filter, a while back I found this drawing on the internet which someone's taken a lot of time and effort to redraw. It looks like it's a CAD drawing, certainly not hand drawn. Apologies, I can't credit whoever did this work, but I've looked back online. I can't actually now find this image. I managed to Google it before and find it, but I've just searched and I can't actually find this, so I can't credit anyone for it, but it's not actually my work. I have been online and translated the text and what have you, just to get a better understanding of this, because it's all in German. But if we just have a look close up, this is quite a good drawing for showing the cross section of what's going on. So I just thought I'd do a quick video of this and post this as well. So we've got the scroll here, as I call it, the scroll piece, shown in cross section, and so the air is able to come in both from the top and from the middle here, because remember there are through slots in between these scrolls, so the air comes in two places to each scroll. So this is the top scroll, air coming in there and there. On the lower scroll, air coming in there and there. And as the drawing shows rather nicely, it shows the air path. So the air comes in, it scrolls. As it's thrown to the outside, the dust finds its way through this little slot at the bottom. So this is the slot in the top row of cyclonic filters. And the dust comes down and is extracted out through the port at the bottom. The same thing is going on at the lower row. That's the slot with the dust coming out there and being extracted out. And then from both of these you've got the air drawn in through what we're referring to as the trumpet piece. The air coming from the lower one has to actually find its way up this narrow gap here, where the oil bath container, which is this piece here, actually sits inside the unit. So the air is then thrown down this narrow circular gap, because you've got the actual filter housing, which is this piece, sat in. So the air is forced down this very narrow gap. As it does so, just here you've got a what I call the guide vane in the video, which is just a series of little vanes that have got a slight angle on them. So as the air comes down here, it's also forced to spin. So it's actually spinning in this direction around the filter. So you've now got spinning air being thrown downward around this gap at the bottom here, which is where the oil actually sits. So if you imagine the bottom portion here is full of oil, the air is physically thrown downwards towards that oil. So any debris and dust which hasn't been centrifuged out in the cyclone stage, that dust hopefully is thrown at the oil surface and sticks onto the oil, and the air then continues its path up. This is like an expanded mesh type filter at the bottom here, which just consists of many layers circled round inside the filter of this expanded mesh. So the air is then drawn up through this. It then comes in from a sideways direction through the last filter element before making its way down actually into the engine itself. So this here is the carburetor air intake. You can see here you've got a like a bell mouth inlet, and then this part here is actually is a spun steel part, and it's got like a rubber moulding nose on the bottom of it, and it actually is clamped down to actually seal onto the engine. And you can see there's a spring here, these circles, that's the cross section of a coil spring that's going right round this part, and you've got a bellows to actually keep it airtight. It's also important to note in the design of this unit that there's a rubber seal at the top here in this lid. There's also a seal at the bottom down here. There's like a gasket here which the oil bath has to seal down onto, otherwise air could come an alternative path and just simply short circuit the oil bath. It could come across here and the air could find its way up to here. So this seal here actually helps to prevent that. As you can see here, this in the middle, this is just part of the clamping arrangement for holding it in. There are two handles on the top of the filter as well, just to aid lifting it in and out. So you can see here, German for dust extraction, air going in, on this right hand side of the drawing. They've not cluttered the drawing up showing the airflow arrows, so you can get a better idea of the cross section here. When making this unit, there's quite a lot of components that all nest inside each other here, so the fits and tolerances on everything have got to be pretty good, because you've got to get everything to go together. Hopefully this video may also be of interest for anyone looking at this particular filter.